Hello everyone, welcome back to our online English class. For this lesson, we are going to review Unit 6. So we're going to do a lot of exercises, but they are not in your book, so make sure you pay attention to the video, and I'll be giving instructions for each exercise. This unit was about time, so for the first exercise, you will see a passage about managing time. You have to complete it and then write questions. So when you see the exercise, you can pause the video, and when you're finished, you can continue. Okay, so let's look at the paragraph together. Right now, I have many things to do. It is important to prioritize. I should make a to-do list. First, I have a lot of chores to do around the house. Secondly, my project is due tomorrow. The deadline is 10 o'clock. When I hand in an assignment, I usually feel impatient because I want to know the results immediately. I also have to practice the piano because I have a concert next month. I need to manage my time better. Unfortunately, I'm good at procrastinating. Okay, so now we're going to look at Veronica's to-do list and write questions. So for number 1, you can see that the answer is there are 5 chores on Veronica's list. So you can ask, how many chores are on Veronica's list? How many chores are on Veronica's list? Okay, and then number 2, the answer is she will clean the house first. Okay, so we can ask, what will she do first? What will she do first? Number 3, the answer is the deadline for her project is Monday. So we can ask, when is the deadline for her project? When is the deadline for her project? Or we can also ask, what day is the deadline for her project? And then number 4, the answer is she will practice the guitar if she has time. Okay? And so we can ask, when will she practice the guitar? When will she practice the guitar? Or you can also make this a yes-no question, and you can ask, will she practice the guitar? So even though there's no yes or no in front of the answer, it's okay because it's based on the condition if she has time. Okay, so for our next exercise, we're going to practice adverb clauses with when. So if you remember, when clauses introduce 2 activities that happen at the same time. And so remember, you can put the when clause at the beginning or at the end of a sentence. So for the next exercise, you need to make sentences with the when clause. So again, when you see the exercise, you can pause the video and then continue when you're finished. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the sentences together. Number 1, when Ernesto has many things to do, he makes a to-do list. When Ernesto has many things to do, he makes a to-do list. Now, of course, you can use the when clause at the end. So you can say, Ernesto makes a to-do list when he has many things to do. Okay, number 2. When Felicia has to do some research, she goes on the internet. Or, Felicia goes on the internet when she has to do some research. Number 3. When I need to finish my work on time, I set a deadline. Or, I set a deadline when I need to finish my work on time. Number 4. When we have a test the next day, we go to bed early. Or, we go to bed early when we have a test the next day. And number 5. When they want to concentrate, they turn off the TV. Or, they turn off the TV when they want to concentrate. Okay, Now you will use those sentences you just made to write questions and answers for the next exercise. So you can pause the video when you see the exercise. Okay, so let's take a look at your questions and answers. So number 1, what does Ernesto do when he has many things to do? Or you can say, when Ernesto has many things to do, what does he do? He makes a to-do list. Or you can make the full statement that includes the when clause. You can say, he makes a to-do list when he has many things to do. And then number 2, what does Felicia do when she has to do some research? Or when Felicia has to do some research, what does she do? She goes on the internet. Or we can include the when clause again. She goes on the internet when she has to do some research. Number 3, what do you do when you need to finish your work on time? I set a deadline when I need to finish my work on time. Number 4, what do you do when you have a test the next day? We go to bed early when we have a test the next day. Number 5, what do they do when they want to concentrate? When they want to concentrate, they turn off the TV. Okay, so as you noticed, for some of these questions and answers, I put the when clause at the beginning, and for others, I put the when clause at the end. So just keep that in mind that you can do both. Okay, for this next exercise, you'll see 16 questions using the when clause. So take some time to practice with your family members or on your own. And you don't have to do all 16, but try to do 4 or 5. And you can practice making sentences in the third person as well. For example, when my husband needs to concentrate, he plays music. Or you can even mix them. So for example, when my children finish something difficult, I give them 1 extra hour of playtime. And we're not going to go over these together, but I hope you get a lot of practice. Okay, so again, when you see the questions, you can pause the video. Okay, now we're going to review adverb clauses with before and after. If you remember, before introduces the second activity and after introduces the first activity. And just like when clauses, you can put before and after clauses at the beginning of a sentence or at the end of a sentence. So for the next activity, you'll see some sequence pictures of Sunmi. Look at the pictures carefully and make sentences using before or after. And also pay attention to capital letters. If you see before or after starting with a capital letter, that means it should be at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, so again, you can pause the video when you see the exercise. Okay, so let's check your sentences. Number 1, you can see that after begins with a capital letter. That means it should be at the beginning of the sentence. So we can say, after Sunmi buys vegetables, she goes to work. After Sunmi buys vegetables, she goes to work. And then number 2, Sunmi puts on her uniform before she starts work. Sunmi puts on her uniform before she starts work. Number 3, you can see that before starts with a capital letter, so we are going to start the sentence with the before clause. So, before Sunmi cooks the vegetables, she makes the dessert. Before Sunmi cooks the vegetables, she makes the dessert. So, if you look at the picture, you can see that Sunmi is making a cake and the vegetables are in the background and they haven't been cut or cooked yet. So you can see that she makes the dessert first, and then she will probably cook the vegetables later. Okay, number 4. Sunmi takes a break after she prepares the meal. Sunmi takes a break after she prepares the meal. And you can see the finished meals in the background as well. Okay, so now you will see some more sentences using before or after clauses. Make sentences and keep in mind whether or not the first letter is capitalized. Okay, so let's take a look at your sentences. Number 1, Sandy studies in the library. Then she goes to school. So we can see that the first activity is Sandy studies in the library. After that, she goes to school. So she goes to school is the second activity. So we have to use before in front of the second activity. So we can say before she goes to school. Okay, but you can see that before is not capitalized. So we can say Sandy studies in the library before she goes to school. Sandy studies in the library before she goes to school. Okay, number 2. Sophia puts on her makeup. Then she goes to work. So again, we can see that the first activity is Sophia puts on her makeup. And the second activity is she goes to work. And this time we need to use after. And we have to use it at the beginning of the sentence this time, because after is capitalized. So we can say, after Sophia puts on her makeup, she goes to work. After Sophia puts on her makeup, she goes to work. Number 3, Tam reads the newspaper. Then he has breakfast. Okay, so this time we are going to use before at the beginning. So we can say, before Tam has breakfast, he reads the newspaper. Before Tam has breakfast, he reads the newspaper, because he has breakfast is the second activity. Number 4, Shin cooks dinner. Then she watches TV. So we need to use after at the beginning. And after introduces the first activity. So we can say, after Shin cooks dinner, she watches TV. After Shin cooks dinner, she watches TV. Okay, so now we will do a listening activity. Take notes as you hear the conversation, and I will ask some questions afterwards.
Hello?
Lola? Hi, it's Sally.
Hi, Sally. How are you?
I'm fine. It's been a long time since we've talked. Listen, I'm calling to see if you can come to my house for dinner on Friday.
Oh, Sally, thanks so much, but I don't think I can. I have to go shopping on Friday evening.
Well, can't you go shopping on Friday afternoon?
Well, before I go shopping, I have to clean the apartment. See, my relatives are coming to visit.
Well, how about Saturday?
Well, see, my relatives arrive on Saturday morning. I have to meet them at the bus station at 11 o'clock. After they arrive, I'm going to drive them to my sister's house.
Wow, Lola, you're gonna be busy this weekend.
And Sally, I'm not finished. All my relatives are coming to my apartment for dinner on Saturday. I need to prepare dinner for 15 people.
Well, after you do all that work for your family, you need to rest and relax on Sunday.
I can't. I have an English project due on Monday.
Boy, Lola, you certainly have a big to-do list. Well, maybe you can come for dinner next week then.
I'd love to. Thanks, Sally.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask some questions, and I'll give you some time to answer them out loud, verbally, or you can write them down. And you might hear my son in the background making sounds, or the sound of his swing. So if that's bothersome, then you can lower the volume a little bit. But number 1, who is talking? Who is talking? Okay, so we can say Lola and Sally are talking. Lola and Sally are talking. Number 2, what is their relationship? What is their relationship? Okay, so you can say they are friends. They are friends. Okay, number 3, what is Lola going to do on Friday evening? What is Lola going to do on Friday evening? Okay, so you can say she's going to go shopping, or you can say she has to go shopping. Okay? Yeah, baby. Okay, so number 4, why can't Lola go shopping on Friday afternoon? Why can't Lola go shopping on Friday afternoon? Okay, so we can say she has to clean her apartment. She has to clean her apartment. Okay, and then number 5, this time I want you to make a sentence using before. Okay, make a sentence using before and the following 2 activities. Okay, so again, make a sentence using before and these 2 activities, okay? And make sure you use the correct verb forms and add any additional necessary words. Okay, so you can say she has to clean her apartment before she goes shopping. Okay, so Lola has to clean her apartment before she goes shopping. Or of course you can put before in the beginning and you can say before Lola goes shopping, she has to clean her apartment. Okay, so remember you need to use goes because Lola is 3rd person singular, and you also need to say clean her apartment or clean the apartment. Okay, for number 6, I want you to make a question. And the answer is 11 a.m. Okay, so again, number 6, make a question, and the answer is 11 a.m. Okay, so you can say, when will Lola meet her relatives? Or you can say, what time will Lola meet her relatives? And you can also include at the bus station if you want. So, what time will Lola meet her relatives at the bus station? Okay, number 7. This time I want you to make a sentence again using after and the following 2 activities. Okay, so again, make a sentence and use after and these 2 activities. And the same thing, make sure you use the correct verb forms and also add any extra words if you need them. Okay, so you can say, after her relatives arrive, Lola will drive them to her sister's house. Or you can say, after her relatives arrive, Lola needs to drive them to her sister's house. Okay, So number 8, what does Lola have to do after she drives her relatives to her sister's house? Okay, what does Lola have to do after she drives her relatives to her sister's house? Okay, so you can say she has to prepare dinner. Or you can say she has to go home and prepare dinner. Okay, number 9. When will Lola work on her English project? When will Lola work on her English project? Okay, so you can say she will do it on Sunday, or she will work on it on Sunday. Okay? If you remember from the listening, Sally told Lola, you need to rest and relax after all of this. But then Lola said, I can't because I have an English project that's due on Monday. So her English project is due on Monday. That means she needs to do it on Sunday. Okay? So she will do it, or she will work on it on Sunday. And finally, number 10. When will Lola and Sally get together? When will Lola and Sally get together? And if you remember, get together means to meet, okay? To spend time together. Okay, so you can say they will get together next week. They will get together next week.